The final game here on Canton Ice House's Red Rink to wrap out day one of this JWHL Canton weekend. It's going to be a U19 panel, and it's Stanstead College taking on Northwood in the 1v2 matchup atop the U19s right now. Of the 8 teams, there's 18 teams competing this weekend, so all the numbers are getting jumbled as this long days rolled on. But of the 8 teams in this U19 division, Northwood, the number 2, has played 9 games. They are 8-1. Stanstead atop the standings. They are 8-0. And Stanstead this morning, a very convincing victory to open the day against the Washington Pride right here on this ice sheet. It was a 6-1 final. Northwood beat Philly 8-1. Coming to center to take the draw, Rosalie Tremblay. And on the other side, she sees Sarah Martin. Tremblay wins it back, and we are underway here in this matchup. 3 20-minute periods. We'll get the ice cut after the second as it comes down all the way to the left side of the cage. Oceana Safalt Michael in net for Northwood Academy to begin this one. Again, they come up here out of Lake Placid, New York. Tremblay gets taken down at the blue line, quickly in on sides. Moseley hustling through. Pochette to the wall. Now skating up, Zoe Charlin, Rosalie Tremblay. Feeds Charlin and can't get that through. That one popped on goal. It's a fault. Michael trying to lay down, kicks it out of there. Northwood clears it around. Picked at the line by Labonte. She forces it forward, comes past the outstretched it. Cora Major was very involved offensively this morning. 2 goals and an assist. Out inside the blue line. That chinks the bar. What a good ripper there from Mila LaForge. Here comes Northwood the other way. Cora Major crossing center. Shoots it all the way down. Ava De Alessandro getting a start in net tonight for Stanstead College and head coach Bertie Pime. Far side wall, Megan Holmes. Quick weave, back beyond the left side circle, force fed in. Wrapping the net, Emily Labonte comes along the near sideboards. Quickly in neutral territory, Megan Holmes is Northwood forced to drop on back. They're in the white tops tonight with the blue numbers. Here's a nice body. Tremblay deep in the net, and he forced it over the bar. Lavoie in the far side corner with already a minute and a half running off. Skated on out by Thome. Crossing center, and now the stretch pass going to go too far. Trying to lead Penelope St. Pierre down ice. St. Pierre working all alone in the corner on the forecheck. Brought back the other way. Is again Tremblay coming down all alone. The fault Michael. Bumped off these near side boards, and now a quick little jab there from Stringer. Big hit to the wall, Natalie Shiner now breaking back on in. Emma Hagen, force cross rink, trying to find that shot, and Reese Combe got tied up. She was another player this morning, very active, finished with 2 points as it trickles on off to the near boards. Tessa Barton, knife down in. Chased in the opposite corner, Megan Barbosa. Stick there from Julia Sharpie. Left side circle, and that one going to trickle on off near boards. Natalie Shiner banks it up off the glass. Her and Charlotte LeBrack from Stanstead both committed to go to Holy Cross after concluding their junior days. Love save there. The Alessandro making sure there's not a second chance. So 17:25 to go here, period number 1. And another easy save. Face-off will come left side of the net. Lauren X taking the face-off. And on the other side, she sees Laurel LaCapella. X able to win the draw. Rolls through the blue paint. Now trying to lead that one up ice. A little bit of a giddy up there for Alea Esperance. Had a goal this morning. All the way back down behind the blue line. Julia Sharpie tries that work out. Comes through the circle, and now on her horse. Here comes Emma Cadis crossing center. It's a wall of white at the blue line. Trickles all the way back down. Lisa Griffiths force fed around. Anna Monette picking up along the left wing boards. Backhanded and coming over that Curry Colonials logo at center. Jabbed right back in on sides as Mulls away. Post grad forward. And now Stanstead completes a line change and their top grouping comes back. Led by their top line center, Rosalie Tremblay. Northwood careful to avoid an icing. They complete a change as well. Push beyond center. Zoe Charling getting some speed. Tremblay back in to the net, and that's covered. Default Michael, the late stick jab there as well. LaForge and Charlin both came streaking the net, so she wanted to show off her authority with that big goaltender paddle. Face-off will be left side of the net. Northwood led by head coach Jordan DeLong. He's done a heck of a job with this team this year, hoping to can pull off an upset against a team that beat them 7-5 to open this JWHL season at Lake Placid on Friday, October the 3rd. Again, that was a 7-5 final back on Friday, October the 3rd. Since then, Northwood 8 wins in a row. Stanstead, all 8 of their games, they have been victorious. One came in overtime, and this team 60 goals scored across their 8 games. 52 of them have been theirs, as they've only surrendered 8. McLean skates up through the far side ring. Out towards the blue line, Rosalie Tremblay trying to jockey for some space. Freed up to the wall, Sarah Martin clears the zone. Stanstead, a little side passing game. There's Tremblay, right wing side, going to pull up. Trying to dish it back behind her out to the point. Again, trying to find Tremblay back door, but Northwood intercepts as McLean turning it down ice. Comes Kenna Gillis all the way to the net. Back here, and what a stop. Ava De Alessandro comes up huge for Stanstead once more. Here comes the rush. Zoe Charlin crossing center, slingshots it in. Stanstead, the gals in red and white out there, going to complete a change. Reese Combe on the front side. Noelle LaCapella crosses the blue line. Pass on over. Reese Combe laundering it down low. Annabelle Grennan takes it around the cage. Works it through the rings. Tipped up in the air. Swatted down at the blue line. LaCapella trying to come on goal. Good defensive stick there, but came out of play. 14:52 to go, period number 1. Here at Canton Ice House. Again, glad you're with us. JWHL weekend. Another full day of games tomorrow, and then we got a couple more Sunday morning to wrap things out. Face-off, St. Pierre going to win it. Trying to come on goal. Again, takes a hop. Chenier shoots it off the boards. Grabbed by Penelope Lavoie. She spins around, puts it through center. Natalie Shiner off the wall. Comes back in deep. Riley Griffiths out to the line. Tremblay kicks to this one. Got a little takedown there on the far side. Backhander, Lavoie, Boston College commit. Going to generate some speed. Where's an A on this Stanstead roster? Lost it along the wall. Now quick break in. Albrecht through the circle. Trying to feed it through and a great stick. Rosalie Tremblay poke checking it aside. Off along Emma Higgins. Trying to buy some space. Tessa Barton, thrown line. Rides up the far wall. Megan Barbosa left it out through the neutral zone. Back to chase this one down. There's once more Tessa Barton. Barton through the circle, out towards center. Shiner coming the other way. Stanstead in defensive ice. Laurinette Sue, put it back through center. Here comes Shiner for a circle off the shoulder. Came free in front. Again, a little wrap. Riley Griffiths, nothing doing. On the net, Albrecht cranks it. Ryan Erster gave it away. Neutral territory. Stanstead forced to come back into their own zone. Northwood completing a change as they hit the reset button. That one's flipped to evade an icing. Off to the bench, going to skate Emma Cadis and company. Anna Monette led through neutral, takes a hop. You knew this one was going to be a battle, and it's going to be an offside with 13:13 to go, and it certainly lived up to the hype of the 1v2 here in the U19s to begin. So face-off this time going to be Sarah Martin against Rosalie Tremblay, just as we saw to open the game. Tremblay, a Wisconsin commit in her second season playing for Stanstead, was one of the elite goal scorers amongst the U19s last year. Finished in the top 3 in scoring, as that goes for an icing. way the structure works in junior women's hockey is a little bit strange as opposed to what you might see in the men's. It seems like there's a U for just about every age, but you go from that U14 jump to that U16, and all of a sudden you're at that U19 threshold. So definitely a little bit of a step up each way. Sarah Martin loses that draw. Zoe Charlin hustles it out of the zone. Comes all the way back in. 12:55 to go, period number 1. Right side of the net, trying to find some space. Natalie Chenier again spins around. Rosalie Tremblay, back side of the near circle. Can't get through. Fires a shot and got blocked on the way through. On the boards, shoveled on in down low. Rosalie Tremblay left out to the line. Annabelle Grennan bounces through neutral territory down the left side of the cage. Sharpie on top of this one first here for her Coach Pimes gang. Morgan Barbosa let out through neutral. That hits the skates of Joey Charlin. Northwood back in possession. Little bouncer at the line. Anna Monette, and that's a bad save. D'Alessandro hasn't seen too many come her way. It's been a very neutral zone, back and forth kind of game to begin through the first 8 minutes or so of this one. Well, 2-on-2 board battle. Who's going to win it out of the pile? It's going to be Stanstead. Yo-yos it around. Charlin with an up-ice pass. Lebrecht able to settle down in stride. Turning around, Zenon buys some time and led it a bit too far for Mulzalay. Coming, it's Northwood crossing center. Esperance coughed it up. Lavoie will send to the near side. Mulzalay on her horse through center, back in offensive territory. Met a heavy defense of St. Pierre. Ricochets off the glass, comes back in deep. Mulzalay tries the center. Lavoie got crunched, force-fed in front, and couldn't get a shot. Autumn Kelly, right side boards. Reese Combe gonna jockey for the possession. Bumped off the half wall, the neutral territory, led over the Curry logo at center. This is their home rink, men's and women's both play here at Canton Ice House. Boston Junior Huskies use this rink as well, as much as many men's leagues in youth hockey do as well. Stanstead goes for a line change. The lone player remaining, Morgan Barbosa. Crank it out of the zone. Instead, Pitt coming back the other way. St. Pierre at the blue line. There's a little dive. St. Pierre, a drop feed, whipped on goal, and that one knocked aside. That blocker hand. Righty glove hand is D'Alessandro. Stanstead going to track it down. Northwood trying to get some defenders off. Up ice, Stringer shooting it into the zone. Change will be made here on the Stanstead side. 10:15 to go in the period. All the way out through neutral. And that goes for the icing. 10:11 left. So offensive zone face-off coming up here for Stanstead. They got a 8 a.m. game against Naha tomorrow. So a little bit of tight scheduling for them to turn around and play again so early tomorrow. And they also play Philly at 10 a.m. on Sunday, so their weekend far from over. Out through neutral territory, back down in defensive ice. Stanstead trying to track this one. Lauren X can't get there. Emma Hagen's able to track it down. Through the circle it comes. Sliced and diced at by Emma Linter. Wrapped out up front, low slot area. Erster can't find the lane. Barton for the cross. Stanstead going to come up ice. LaForge almost went down to a knee. It's over the blue line. A little hit going to be laid there from Erster. And puck bounces away for Emma Higgins. Northwood, certainly not the flashy college commit names you'll see on that Stanstead roster, but certainly making a name for themselves and showing up in a big way here to begin this season across all these weekend tournaments. Shuffle it in. Lacapella lost possession. Right side corner for Stanstead, and Safalt Michael made a save. Not one of those grade A chances Rosalie Tremblay's been looking for. Tremblay gets taken down, no penalty. Oh, okay, we are going to get one, a late call. Tremblay taken down. We'll see a trip call coming up on Northwood, and Stanstead's power play to work for the first time here this evening. As Cora Major heads off for the home side Northwood. Face off. Going to come in the offensive zone. Again, it's a trip call. Cora Major, time on it, 11:09. So we'll see what this Stanstead power play can do with it. They had a power play goal this morning against Washington. Emma Higgins gave it away. Stanstead turns around. LaForge's coming on goal. Came off the pass. Got down behind the goal line. Whipped off the board. Sets a Borton all the way down the ice sheet. LaBonte shipping it side. Swung right back over. Zenon crosses. Drop feed behind her. Charlotte LeBret now out at the point. Drifting around. LaBonte near side. Ripped into the net. Kashaya Zenon opens the scoring. It's 1-0 Stanstead. Her second goal and third point of the day. Friday is her day. So the top team across the U19s does what they do best and keeps on scoring goals. Broke its stick right off the face-off, and so Zoe Charlin needs a new twig. Julia Sharpie behind the net. Tries to get this loose. Riding around, Sharpie again. Almost lost an edge. St. Pierre to get this free. A little 2-on-2 pile. There's a trip. No penalty comes. Northwood was looking for it as it rolls through neutral all the way back down into their end. Stanstead will complete a change. 7:34 to go. And again, don't go anywhere after this first period comes to an end. We'll take about a minute and a half or so, and then we'll play period 2. Grab the defensive ice. Now LaCapella pulls it down. Annabelle Grennan is... Here's a Russ. Berta Melzaloy crossing center. Riley Griffith scoops this one, throwing it out towards the blue line. Sarah Martin over the center stripe. Between the circles, and there's a nice stick. D'Alessandro. Give her a crown. There's Cora Major. Can't get it through. She tracks it to the boards. Couple more into the pile. Got Zenon who scored that opening game goal. Grennan. Now they'll hustle it up ice. Grabbed by Major, now forced the other way. And that goes for a nice hanger on Northwood. 6:31 to go, period 1. Glad you're with us on JWHL YouTube. Make sure you like, hit the subscribe, and come back for the rest of the weekend action and all future action right here on YouTube. Always a good time for these weekend tourneys. Ripped off the wall behind the net. Kicked to neutral territory. LaForge coming out across center. Drubs it in deep. Up by Natalie Chenier. There's Stringer right side corner. Now drifting around out inside the zone. That flips a twig. Emma Higgins getting through neutral and coming on in low. Tessa Barton. Rode by Stringer. She tries to clear the zone. Lofted up in the air. Natalie Chenier. Northwood picking it off. Coming on in. Anna Monette. Right side corner. The jab out to neutral territory. Reese Combe going to reset. Put off the wall. And we LaBonte to the blue line towards center. On the backhand, Chenier. Northwood tracks it down behind the net. 5:22 to go. Lily Pratt shoots it out across center. Penelope Lavoie, a little side-side passing game. Hustling up ice. Tremblay had a pick. Lily Pratt again will scoot in on sides. Take it up the left wing wall. Riesle Esperance got crunched to the glass. Now in deep, Julia Sharpie. Takes a couple of skips in neutral. Reese Combe shoots it right back in. Northwood going to complete a change with sub-5 to go, period number 1. Coming up, that hits a skate. In the air. Now here's LaCapella. Spinning, Cadence right, puts it off the far wall, and that goes for an icing. Just barely came over 3 lines, so Stanstead will have an offensive zone faceoff. Quick draw win, trying to break to the goal, Zoe Charlin. Tie up in the corner, Rosalie Tremblay. Kelly skate it the other way. LaCapella into the zone, forced past the left post. Rollins up the sidewall, Cora Major keeping it in. Now chink in the post. Tremblay will skate it up through neutral. St. Pierre right on after it. Slice from Tremblay. Spinning Cadence right, will work it over the blue line. Banked off the boards and rides in deep. Back to grab it, LaForge. Playing it ahead. Here comes Zenon with some speed and a 3-on-1. Off the shoulder, not going to have a rebound. Zenon tracks her own self down in the corner. Plays it in, Charlotte Lebrec. Lebrec's still on her feet, takes a hit. Cadence Wright was tossing the body around a little bit. Here in neutral, that'll come off the boards. And they're going to say got played with a high stick out there. So 3:08 to go. And neutral zone faceoff coming up. Into the offensive zone. Here goes Northwood. That one will trickle past the right post. There's Ryan Erster, left side corner. Takes a little hit high on her back. Out in the circle here. They come the other way. Crossing the line, that hits the shoulder, off to the bench. Gonna go Keisha Zenon and company. Cross the center line, there's a hit. Putt-pot's loose. Emma Hagen's whipping it side. Megan Holmes, that'll flip a stick. Comes past the outstretched stick of Hagen's all the way down. And that's an icing. 2:16 to go. So offensive zone coming up. Face off right side. D'Alessandro, the 2027. St. Pierre gets muscled down. Barbosa, slice and dice for this. St. Pierre takes it along the wall. Got crunched. Out inside the zone. Megan Holmes, that gets dropped down. Comes Stanstead trying to break out the other way. On the rush, Natalie Chenier, that'll clip a stick. Northwood back to grab it. There's LaCapella. Forces it up. St. Pierre crossing the line. Breaks in offensive territory. To guy to her back. So get free, coming the other way. Rosalie Tremblay over the blue line. Backside left wing, reach the high slot. Almost got taken down now. In off the pads, and that'll go! A pinballing puck ends up in the back of the net. It is 2-0 Stanstead. It'll be Charlie Pamperlin's goal. Time on it will be 18:30. And this is eerily familiar to the first time these two teams have met up. As Stanstead had a 3-0 lead after the first period. They got 2 late goals to have a 3-0 lead after scoring 1 in the early stages of the thing. So if they can add 1 more, it'll look like an exact replica. But for now, just looking similar. Off the wall. Quick steal in front. Hustling on out. Martin. She loses possession. Cora Major cranked behind the goal line. Kenna Gillis. Northwood trying to come in 3-on-2, and their lane was jammed. Summer McLean now cocked up possession. Stands there, quickly, aggressively working. Joey Chorlin. Into the net. Summer McLean picks up the change and deposits it to the bank. Time on that will be 19:19. And so, Northwood wastes no time answering. It looked like Stanstead's puck all day long along the boards, but Northwood just kept fighting. And the fight is what pays off. It's not about the size of the dog, it's about the size of the fight in the dog. Is that one behind the goal line? Julia Sharpie. Clock will get back to resuming. Zenin trying to track that one. Zenin with 20 to go. Left out to the blue line. Ship side. Now finged on. So Lavoie couldn't whip it off. Trapped out to center. Shovel in. Set up on the net by Safalt Michael. Under 10 to go. Up ice. And the Alessandro watch is it's an ice in 2.3. Face off, and that'll end the period. Wiley Griffiths took it behind the net, but 2-1 will be your score. Stanstead's got the lead after 1. Going to take about a minute break. When we come back, period 2, here on JWHL YouTube. We're back and rolling here for period 2. Period with a long change. Northwood and Stanstead in the 1v2 battle here in the U19s. The Alessandro fell on her bottom, and she's able to get right back up, though. Neutral territory. Stanstead's traveling right to left here in period 2. Northwood left to right. Trying that quick whip on goal. Zoe Charlene can't get it through. Erster out at the blue line, and Penelope Lavoie keeps it in. Gillis to center. Going to be scooped and rolling in. Comes off the pads. There's Lavoie. Tries for something, a big crunch. Worked on through, that'll clink a skate. Swatted aside with the stick. Jabbed off the boards. Charland again trying to get in there. Tremblay, and nothing doing. Side the zone, Labonte gonna try. Little takedown, right back to her feet is Charlotte Lebrecht. Here comes Northwood up ice. Sierra Martin crossing center, shoots it up in the air. Northwood trying to complete a line change, but they call him for the icing. Right side, this 1-1. LaForge tries to play it up, and there's a snapper off the post. Melzoy from beyond the right side circle. LaCapella slingshots it through the middle, banks off the wall. Stanstead tracks it down in their own end. Careful not to allow an opportunity. Right between the circles. Here's some quick hustle. LaForge right to the cross center. Got a puddle of loose ice between the two benches over there. Pass forward, Barbosa got crunched all the way down behind the net. Not going to get a whistle. Little hustle for Zenin. Coming the other way. Brad will put it up through the air. Off ice it's going to come. And there's an icing. As Aubin couldn't win the foot battle for Northwood. So nothing wrong with that. You do what you can, win those races, and then if it doesn't quite go according to plan, you just shake your head and say, next time we'll be a little bit faster and hopefully win one. Whipped on the backhand off the far side. Late defensive territory. Julia Sharpie spins around. Little bumper. Brennan in neutral territory. Ryan Erster now takes a hit in front of the Northwood bench. Well, side passing game. Griffiths across the center stripe. Comes off the end wall. Brennan lays the body. Stanstead finally slingshots it out of the pile. Big hit going to be laid from Chenier. Pops loose. Bat side left wing circle. Pass around and that'll get tracked. Tessa Barton there for Northwood. I've been called her name a lot here tonight to start this one after she was very active this morning. The Alessandro going to have possession. So play will get halted here with 16:39 to go, period number 2. Into the offensive zone, here's Northwood. Anna Monette holds behind the net. On the backhand, Leesbrons came past her stick. Tracked down, Lily Pratt, and it's tipped home off the shoulder. From the boards to the back of the net, we are tied at 2. It's Anna Monette who notches us at even. And face-off will come back to center. Martin trying to win that as it's cleared on down. Rides the wall to the far side corner. Puck going to get loose as the body. Cora Major played in deep behind the net. The wall. Grabbed by Zenin. Trying to force on goal. Got grabbed on the way. Here comes Stanstead working up ice. 3-on-2. Off the boards. Played the other way. Sarah Martin. Pass up ice. Majors again. A little 3-on-2 action. Rosalie Tremblay gonna have it. She'll dart in. And lost it on the backhand. Tracks it down near boards. Zoe Charlin shot in deep. Charlotte Lebrecq will hold on to possession here. Kicks it this one. Acapella coming up towards the middle. Going back by Sarah Martin all the way in behind the net. 15:08 to go, period 2. Now a 2-2 hockey game here between Stanstead and Northwood. Glad you're with us. JWHL YouTube wrapping out day 1 here on Red Rink in Canton. We do have a delayed penalty. Going to be a cross check. Penelope St. Pierre heads to the box here for Northwood. So face off in offensive territory for Stanstead. Draw comes to the right side. It's the fault, Michael. Lacapella tries to win his. And that gets fanned on. Tremblay trying to cut on goal. Backside left wing. Penelope Lavoie ships it side. Tremblay up top. Thrown on goal just wide. Would have been a good chance. A little blast from Lavoie. Lavoie will cut. Try to distract. Out of line for the one-timer. It has her stick getting tugged onto. Kicked away. Northwood trying to give themselves a chance. Should have had some kind of penalty there probably. Tremblay takes it back behind the goal line. Minute 18 left on the cross-check call to St. Pierre. Gets hit by the net. Now down on both knees. We're getting a minor coming on Northwood again, it looks like. Nope, this one will be on Stanstead, so it ends the power play in the tracks. Penelope Lavoie going to take it, and so we'll play even for 1:12, and then it'll be an abbreviated 48-second power play for Northwood School. Charlotte Lebrecq crosses the center stripe, works it over the blue line, backside left wing, and trying to take that elbow. Cora Major's right there in the way. This one going to get kicked at a couple of times. In the corner, that gets grabbed, top side of the circles. Set up ice. Here comes Northwood. To the net. Quick stick. Behind the net. Bounce. Nothing new for Lebrecq. 38 to go and even 4-on-4. Leaves a little bit of open ice when you got the 4v4 situation as that rides the glass all the way in deep for an icing. So 13:26 to go. Will be offensive zone here for Stanstead. Rosalie Tremblay trying to step in on this draw. Gets one. Battle over there. Zoe Charlin can't win it. Did throw the body a little bit. Autumn Kelly was down on the ice. 13:08 to go, period 2. All tied up now at 2. Monette scoring the game tire. 3:38 into the second period as Minor's going to wind out on St. Pierre. She's back, and it's a 5-on-4 situation for Northwood as they're attacking with heavy forecheck. Elevated through neutral ice all the way down. Out of the crease comes the fault Michael. Sets it between the circles. Northwood going to start that power play. Giddy up. Cross and center. Tessa Barton works up the left wing side. Jackknifed off the wall. Rosalie Tremblay tries to help her out a little bit. Behind the net. Here's a little bit of room. Seconds will tick over, and out of the box as well on the side of Stanstead comes Penelope Lavoie. So we're at even, both teams with abbreviated penalty kills right there. Did have a power play goal from Shia Zenin earlier on for Stanstead, which opened the scoring. But since then, both teams pretty good on the special teams all around. Auburn's got possession in the corner, trying to stay on her feet. Again, this team turns around, plays again 8:50 tomorrow. Gets Naha. Game will be right on this ice sheet as well. All 4 of Stanstead's games here this weekend played on this red ice sheet at Canton House. For Northwood, they turn around, play tomorrow, 11 a.m. against Mount Academy on blue. All of the call of that game for you. Coming up ice, that's jabbed off the boards. For Northwood, would be huge to go into that one tomorrow with some big momentum after knocking off the top team as Anna Monette, their captain, shovel it in. Grab behind the net, Megan Holmes. Now a little back and forth action. Quick hustle there from Stringer. She'll force it past the right post. Down to 10:40 to go. Out to the blue line. And off the pads. Going to get loose. Along the wall. Shipped to the middle. Cadence Wright plays it in. Trying that wrap. Anna Monette bounced in front. Nothing doing. And cleared the other way. Stanstead sprint off for a change. And there's an icing, so be forced to come back out on the ice. So quite unfortunate for a team that thought they had a big dump the other way right there. Face-off will be to the right side of the net. Quick win, trying to clear the zone. Back to the right side of the goal. This one's going to come. Freed up in the far side corner. Rosalie Tremblay on net. Spun it wide. This one gets tracked at, but instead some good footwork. Kenna Gillis trying to come on goal. Sticked away. Cora Major tries to center. Nothing's there. We do have a delayed penalty call coming up on Stanstead, and there's the touch. We get the whistle. Fault Michael comes off the bench, and she'll head to the net. Got a little interference action coming up on Penelope Lavoie, who's seated again here in the sin bin. Cleared behind the cage. Here's Berta Malzaloy trying to play it in. Northwood with the break. St. Pierre coming to the goal. That one clipped for the paddle. And then that Malzaloy trying to get possession. Out at the line. Played on over. Up and nothing there in front. Quick dive. Can't jam a look home. St. Pierre with another minute and 23 to work with on this power play. Stanstead down Lavoie on the interference. And we're going to get a whistle. Cross-check penalty coming up. Excuse me, it'll be interference. So Autumn Kelly takes it for Northwood. That'll end the penalty. Or power play, excuse me. So 4-on-4 action for another minute and 8. Up ice. A little bit of quick hustle. Cadence right, slinging it side. Now into the door. D'Alessandro comes up with a big one. So we're still even at 2 here in Canton. Again, coming up after the second period, we'll take about 10-15 minutes or so for the ice cut. Then we'll come back and play the third, and that'll do it here for tonight for those of us here on Canton Ice Red Rink. Blue's still going on. They got a game right now, and then one still to follow after, so they'll be out of here a little bit later. And they turn around and start again tomorrow morning, 7 a.m., so a little bit of a quick turnaround. Through the air, Tessa Barton. That'll be scooped by LaCapella, going side. Riley Griffiths coming ahead. Through a high hit, Julia Sharpie. Griffiths going side. 15 to go in the 4v4. That one just wide. Another chance. Griffiths tries and rides up the sidewall. Tessa Barton able to hold the zone. Picked up the middle. Recess Barantz. Stanstead slingshotting it in. 45 to go. They are on the power play now. And Northwood trying to reload and regroup. Lavoie out of the box and into the play. Circles along the left side boards. Drop feed behind her. And Tremblay with some quick giddy up. Crosses the center line. On her horse beyond the right side circle. Looks to the net. Circles surveying the scene. Tremblay all the way along the far side. Out to the point. Lavoie, the bouncing puck down on all fours. Behind the net. A little bit of a lane. They'll leave out to Tremblay. 10 to go. They got a chance. Blocked on the way. Lavoie tries. And Tafalt Michael going to haul it in. So 6:55 till our intermission. Still tied at 2. Stanstead got the first 2 if you missed it. Northwood the latter 2. It's McLean and Monette who have their goals, excuse me. You know how it goes. Your ends look like ours after a long day's work. Couple of bounces up the far boards. Stanstead in front of the bench. This one going to be kicked out. McLean threw it off the boards. Up the gut, tumbling down. Centering feed. Sliced and diced. Breaking on up. Here's a look. Autumn Kelly. Wrap, Stanstead again. Trying to find something. As LaForge gets over center. Dropped on off. Charlotte LeBret trying to try one. Those long clappers from deep for Stanstead specialties usually. Monette, who's already got a goal and an assist. Behind the goal line. Tremblay the puck strip. She'll skate up the far board side. Tremblay weaving to the middle. Up the right wing wall. Over the Curry logo she comes. Meets the Sia White and Monette with the steal and forced the other way. Stanstead going to make a couple of changes. 5:43 to go. Lavoie sets up shot behind the net. Here's a chance. Charlie Pamplin on the goal line. Tremblay going to try on the stretcher up ice. Pamplin on goal and over the net. Far side. Tremblay rips wide. Into the corner. Got Sharpe and Tremblay on the ice, really doing a lot of work here for the Stanstead team. Both ends in this one, despite what anything says. Megan Holmes going to circle now between the rings. Looks ahead. Holmes takes it backwards. Pushed off the wall. Anna Monette going to force it deep into the glove. That could drop down. Allows Northwood to change out 4 on the ice. Neutral trying to settle down the skipping puck. Luring at Sue. Dragging and shooting. That hit a body. Michael got a stick out there. Right side corner. Now the drag. Ripped wide. Picked up. Aubin. Now Northwood trying to start that rush once more. Towards the center line. A little spin around. Luring at Sue. Again waiting and dragging. Can't find a shot. Change the glass. Sharpe right back on it. Northwood going to go side. And the Higgins pinches up on the forecheck. So does Griffiths. There's a good stick out to the line. Here comes Northwood. 3-on-2 if they hurry. Hustling it in. Kate Albrecht. Little drop pass. Higgins turns around. Can't get a shot. Send it out to their defense. Little bouncer. Can't get to the net. Into the corner. That one's kept alive. Here's Albrecht. Hit to the glass. Puck's going to pop loose. Albrecht down on a knee. Albrecht comes out to the blue line. Gets through neutral territory. Cora Major sends it up ice. And that got tipped, so no icing. As we're down to 3 minutes to go here in period 2. As again, we're approaching that intermission break. Stanstead along the near wall. Emma Linter trying to find that breakout. Northwood turns it, shoots, and what a save. D'Alessandro uses the pads. Inside the zone, that one can't get through. A lot of hustle and heart. Labonte in neutral. Here's a good stick from Gillis. Cadence right, a turn, puts it off the boards. Comes all the way in deep. 2:25 to go. On the net, that'll hit a body. Trying Grennan will leave it through neutral, and they won't have a chance. Reese Combe circles. Going to pick up some speed, crossing center. Combe off the boards. Back in deep. Little hit. Lavoie wasn't too big of a hit there. Crossing center. Now a little bit of a ladle. Megan Holmes jockeyed over center. In offensive territory, she flies. Not going to have anybody in front. Left side of the cage. Picking it up. Lavoie is Stanstead trying to start from the back out and work it south-north. A long, clear shot in from LaForce. Draws the icing. With a buck and change to go here in period 2. Face off to the offensive zone here for Northwood. Not a bad place to be. One off the boards and comes back in low. Morgan Barbosa, there's a hit. Stanstead starts the rush. Here's a break up ice. Charlie Pamplin. Banked off the wall, comes in deep. Down to 1:10 to go. Ridden out through neutral territory. Stanstead going to pick up. Here's Julia Sharpe crossing center. Up off a glove. Turning around, Riley Griffiths trying to play it out to center. Hustling it up, Rosalie Tremblay. That'll come off the board. Now here goes Northwood. LaCapella for nothing. Into the corner, they make the line change. Left side of D'Alessandro. The puck's in there. Elbrecht gonna try. Tremblay straight up the gut. Off the boards here they come once more. Shot in and Michael gonna set it up. Zoe Charlin crosses center. Down under 20. And Mercatus trying to grab it. Forced cross rink, and now the try. Major and a stop. D'Alessandro as we approach the final seconds here, the second period. So face off to the right side of the goal. This one picked up in the corner. And that's going to wind the seconds down. Charlotte Lebrecht can't clear the zone. And so 2-2 is going to be your score after two. Stanstead gets the first two as Shai Zenin and Charlie Pamplin find the back of the net before they get goals from McLean and Monette that tie us up. So 2-2 your score. We're going to take a break. Period 3 after a short break here on JWHL YouTube. Period 3 coming at you here on JWHL YouTube. Northwood steers the draw back, and we are underway as they quickly try to ride things out and hopefully get some more offense on the board to snarl in a victory after they trailed 2-0. Always a big thing, come back from down multi-goals, and they did just that. So now we'll see what they have in store the rest of the way. Stanstead going left to right here in this third, just as they did in the first, and Northwood's traveling from right to left. Inside the zone, Canton to right, tries to play it deep. That side right wing, out to neutral, and now the rush coming. Tremblay, up and out of play. So, we'll have an offensive zone face-off coming up here for Stanstead College. Glad you're with us here on JWHL YouTube. Been a blast of a day so far. Still one more full day, and then a couple games Sunday. So crazy to think the weekend, already about half over because Sunday is such short 2-3 games in the morning. Out one going to be grabbed. Fault Michael in possession. Face off, going to come right side to Fault Michael. That one whipped down goal. Trickles off the pads. Trying to wedge out of the zone. Forced in right on the end crest. We get a whistle. 18:55 left in regulation. So Stanstead going to keep it on this end. Rides off the top of the boards. Ryan Erster kicking around for possession. A little 2-on-2 and Zenon from a knee will force it in. A little stick action to the left side corner. Shot in, back behind the goal line. Fault Michael played to her right side. Good stick action. Zenon trying to track, and then it'll come wide left of the net. Then there's a chance. Here comes Northwood. Labonte, some possession. LaFrange is Zenon across center. Into the zone, knifed it through the circle. Northwood will get possession back as Cora Major left it up the wall. Natalie Shiner just missed. And yeah, here's a look. Cora Major going to the wall. On top of it, Morgan Barbosa trying to knife through the middle. Oh, what a chance. The Fault Michael again kicks it out of there. It'll come to the boards and grabbed by Grennan. She'll force it. Comes off some twigs into the corner. Shiner again forced it behind the goal line. The Holy Cross commit. Kelly plays it through the center. Major will dance in. Running around. And lost it to boards. Now, right side comes up and brought through neutral over center. Shiner gives it up. Northwood coming up ice. Pamplin going to force it to the far corner. Takes a couple of bad skips. Reese Combe forces it in. Bouncing through the circle. Stanstead tries to start a rush. Sharpie can't get too far. A little turnaround action for LaChapelle, excuse me. Off the boards, and Stanstead will go back and track it down, but it's an icing. So offensive zone face-off will be coming up. Draw will be to the right side. That's the Fault Michelle. Cracker. Riley Griffiths tries to start something. LaForge on goal. Comes loose. Trying that wraparound. It's jammed off the boards. Settled out at the line. Labonte drifts and whipped it over the net. Good stick over there on the far side by Summer McLean. Hops all the way to the near wall. Labonte, a little 180 spin. Rosalie Tremblay up there as well. Some good stick action. Pops out to the neutral zone. Labonte, a little side. That'll clip a twig. Northwood tries to back. Some slicing action. Crossing center. On the back end, Northwood will dump in. They'll head off. Try to complete a change. Circling to lit the boards. Rosalie Tremblay able to track. Esperance, and that'll be blocked. Esperance, backside left wing. Pair of them on this roster. Into the corner, now centered, and Nick's popped loose. So we get a whistle, 15:24 to go. Face off in the offensive zone. Reese Esperance, 2026 forward, taking it for Northwood, and head coach Jordan DeLong. Esperance down about to her knee. Stanstead will crank it off the wall. Coming up ice, Charlotte LeBrack, and what a save. Thought Michael was pretty routine, but still holding on nonetheless. Always an impressive feat. So 15:04 left. And possession in a Stanstead offensive half. Left side corner, that'll hit a stick. Nice drag, and what a stick. D'Alessandro getting her paddle in the way. Northwood works from the corner out. Stanstead going to push it over center all the way back down left side, and there's an icing. Whistle came pretty quick, but nonetheless, offensive zone for Northwood forthcoming. Face off left side. Penelope St. Pierre going to take this drop. Tremblay was trying to win it. That'll come off the leg. Tremblay along the boards. Tremblay backside left wing. Going to rush it coming to the blue line. St. Pierre got his stick tied up high. Right side of the Stanstead bench. They try to force something. Tremblay tracks it back down. Punched off their stick. Wrapped in front and that's covered. So Stanstead able to freeze it up. Track down along the boards, through the circle. Coming up ice, it chinks the wall. Did get tipped, so no icing. As we're at about 14 minutes left to play. Zoe Charlin on net. Now the try by right out to the blue line. St. Pierre with the quick ups. She cuts into the zone. Backside right wing. Worked off the wall and now tracked in the far corner. Out to blue, and official making sure it made the signal that it didn't come out of the zone. Always love our linesmen doing the job because it's a hard job to do, watching that blue line, making sure that position doesn't pop out. Quick hustle here for Stanstead. Natalie Chenier, and swallowed up. So it's the fault of Michael, making sure she holds on to it. Face off in the offensive zone here for Stanstead. Reese Esperance. Draw got one away from her by Alban. Ryan Erster lays down. Northwood, a little 2-on-1 action. Picked off up the middle. Here goes Stanstead. Well, 3-on-2 action if they're hurrying. Said they'll make the change, though. On the wall, Labonte. Deep shot. Tried for that snapper. On Utz, able to jab it forward. On it, Morgan Holt put it off the boards, comes out to the line. Sharpie, the shot, and what a save. So vault Michael right in the breadbasket. So it will be in the offensive zone. Trying to force that one on goal. Here comes Northwood. Kind of Gillis breaks into the zone, tries the shot, the pass across. Can't get that through. Gillis still on her feet, gonna wait. Sharpie tries that rush. Kate is pumped off the glass, ridden in deep. Set up shot behind the net to fault Michael. And now the try, Lauren Utz. Rosalie Tremblay dropped through the middle. Jinx the skate, and again, no tip. Make sure they didn't get the offside. That one dragged off the pads, whipped out in between the circles, gets grabbed. Forced side to side. On net, gonna come wide. Tremblay along the wall, thrown on net, off the end crest. Comes loose. Jinx the glass and ridden out of play. So we get a whistle. Draw left side of the net. Northwood going to win it. Cranked up off the top of the boards. Slung side to side. Dragged and thrown over the net. Back the little bash off the wall. Forced out through neutral. Comes back down, and that's a nice save. One hits the boards. Grabbed and trying to spin on goal. Morgan Barbosa, and there's a save. Off the wall, Reese Combe. And then Higgins is picked at the blue line. One shot right back in Zoe Charlin. This one gets kicked out along the boards. Reese Combe takes it back in behind the goal line. Tipped out by Anna Monette. And this one's going to be grabbed. Shiner played in deep. Reese Combe trying to get possession. Higgins skates up ice. Flips the wall. And going to come all the way in. Slid left and right. Towards the blue line, racing towards the net. Gillis wide. At the blue line, a little side-side action. Major. There's McLean. Now going to come wide again. Through the air, this one rolls through neutral all the way back down in. Major crosses the line. Kind of Gillis can't hold the edge. Here's some speed, is a little 2-on-2 action, and the kick in. Oh, denied in front. Zenon was hoping she could crash and get the score. In neutral territory, this one going to be tracked down. Julia Sharpie back in her own zone through the surface. Flip a twig, acapella. St. Pierre back in deep behind the goal line. Get your stick tied up. Autumn Kelly got a piece as well, and here's the hustle at the blue line. Tremblay got the stick in there. Northwood going to try. St. Pierre gets a piece at the line. Northwood tracks it down. Ryan Erster in front. That one shot up and out of play. This one going to get one. Here's a drag and a Monette, and there's the hole. So D'Alessandro, top of the blue paint, hauling it in. That one gets tipped around at the line. Shot off the boards. Turnaround action. In front, Alessandro was watching. Track back down to go get this one, Levante. Dragon action hits the boards. Sharpie back to go get this one. Rides up the wall, and now the quick taps. Up the gut in front. Barry! Kenna Gillis in the low slot. First lead of the game for Northwood. So that is huge. 3 goals, 3 different goal scorers. In that one, Pumpy on the right side post. Zoe Charlin tracks it down on the right side. Again, that's so huge for Northwood. Get that 3rd goal. St. Pierre through the trapezoid, picks up some steam. Northwood with a quick hustle through neutral. Capella, her line back out on the ice. They've been so brilliant here today. Pretty big, all aspects. Both in the junior flyer game this morning, counting for 48 goals, and now in this one, counted for 1, but also played some very key minutes. Really kept them in it when they were down 2-0. Glove stop to Vault Michaels, so 6:28 to go. And this is about the time where Stanstead finally going to get battle tested. They've had a lot of blowout games, and you see what they're made of down 1 in the waning moments of a contest. Northwood will win this. Out of the zone. That one's trying to force it ahead. Track back in the high slot. Can't get through. Drill going to come wide. Behind the net, Animo net spinning. Out at the blue line and knocked aside. Tipped and here they come in the high slot. Again, nothing to it. Here's Stanstead going the other way, crossing center. Now off the top side of the board. Here goes Northwood. Quick break. Backside right wing. Down on the ice goes Kenna Gillis. Bumped away. Backhander through the legs. Zenin will pick up some steam. Crossing center. Flies up the wall. Zenin, far side circle. On net off the shoulder. That was pretty. Off the boards. Turned on around here again by Northwood. Quick action. Zenin the hustle. On net and hits the pads. Now a turnaround try won't go. Annabelle Brennan going to go D to D. Crossing the center line, Northwood. And there's an icing. So face off to the offensive zone. In the corner, Rosalie Tremblay. And big hit laid out on the ice. In front, that hits the pads. Now up in the air, nothing there. Northwood shot to center. Julia Sharpie coughs this one up and needs a rush. Down the left side, in the glove. So, De Alessandro coming up huge with 4:23 to go. They hit off the boards, cracked right back in. A bit of giddy up down the wall and down. So Tremblay having a hard time getting back to her feet. St. Pierre across the center line, jets over the blue line, took it to the glass. Zoe Charlin is, here comes the hustle. Tremblay over center, over the blue line, backside left wing, cuts to the high slot, waits beyond the right circle. That'll hit a skate. Northwood, a little dragger. That'll get lost up the middle. Hit to the boards from Berta Melzaloy. Out at the blue line, a little back and forth. Hits the boards. Now track back down, Emma Labonte. Over the blue line in offensive territory, off the shoulder, laying out the fault. Michael had a hard time, but she was able to grab it. Looks like these two teams are going to head to the benches if we get a timeout. 3:01 to go. It's a 3-2 score in favor of Northwood here in Canton, Massachusetts.
3:01 to go. It's 3-2, and they are loaded up. Stanstead has pulled the goaltender, so it's a 6-on-5. They're wasting no time. Comes to the wall, and it's jabbed in deep. Melzaloy rides it around. Quick little ups. Side, and now ahead over the blue line. This one fumbles in the process. Caden's right. At the blue line, down on a knee. Now Tremblay rolls back beyond center. Almost lost possession. Towards the net. That one slid in. Hit the stick of Lavoie on the way in. Northwood. Now that had some key insurance to potentially getting the knockoff victory. So, leading the line going to be Kenna Gillis. As she not only gets what would be the game-winning goal, she gets what's now the insurance goal as well. So, first 2 goals went to Stanstead. Last 4 have gone to Northwood. As we play on for these final 2 and change. Behind the net, Default Michael trying to set up shop. And once more to the bench goes D'Alessandro, who has 6 of the 8 Stanstead wins. In the high slot. And that one trickles off to the corner. Again now forced ahead. Quick track into the corner goes Griffiths. She'll stay on her feet. 3 into the pile here for Stanstead, 1:38 to go. St. Pierre hops into the pile here for Northwood as everybody's desperately fighting. Again, 6-on-5, net's empty. Grennan off the shoulder, swatted down. Grennan forced out to her D, now the try. Comes off to the left side corner. Berta Melzaloy with a piece of this. Little action for LaForge. In front of the Stanstead bench down once more. Quick try and a high hit to the back. Now a drag and another shot for the empty net. Couldn't bury it. St. Pierre fighting for possession. Down to a minute left to go in regulation and a 4-2 score. Put through center ice. 45 seconds. Around the center stripe, they were inches away from another. That's an icing. And Flock, extra second or 2 ran off. Face off left side of the net. Reese Colm, forked around. Morgan Barbosa on top of this. Waits at the line. Rosalie Tremblay left side, and she can't deliver. Morgan Barbosa sent out to blue. Waiting, out of flip a swig. And Northwood shoots at the length and goes for an icing. So 14.4, and going to be an offensive zone face-off coming up here once more for Stanstead. Draw will be to the right here of Oceanus Default Michael. Quick win and slid to the right side. Got a stick on the way. Out at blue, now the wait, and forced past the post. Grabbed in the corner, that'll chink a skate, and a hit along the wall, and that's going to do it! Northwood has done it! They have upset Stanstead, and will take the number 1 spot here in the U19s. So Stanstead's run of being 8-0 perfection has come to a close, and Northwood will move to 9-1. And take over that first place spot. Stanstead, though, has 2 more games this weekend. 8:50 tomorrow and 10 a.m. Sunday against Philly. And Northwood wraps out the weekend tomorrow, 11 a.m. against Mount. So it should be fun to have that one over for you on Blue Rink tomorrow morning. But that's going to do it for us today. 4-2 is your final. Thanks for watching here all day long on Red Rink. My name's Goldie Smith. We'll see you tomorrow here for day 2 of the weekend.